What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another pretty cool little review for you, Dave. A pretty cool knife. This one was loaned to me by none other than Fred the Lug. So big shout out to Fred. Thank you very much for letting me check out this awesome and many other awesome knives, man. Fred's let me check out a lot of them. So y'all go check him out, man. On my Discord, he's got a few knives for sale on there on the buy sell trade section. Thanks to people like Fred that loan me knives on a regular basis to that I can bring you guys regular rambling content. So really appreciate all y'all. Thanks to all my channel members, viewers, Patreon subscribers. Hit the like button if you like the content and subscribe if you want more of it. Now this one, pretty cool, I think personally. Neat little kind of, I would consider, gentleman's knife. This is the Bull Knives Xyro. Get a nice little close-up look at this bad boy. M390 on the blade right there, and black marble carbon fiber on the handle scale. Bull Knives Xyro. This is OEM by Riot out of China. And I don't think these are available right now unless they maybe on a secondary site or something like that. And of course on the secondary market, but they're sold out right now on Bull Knives website. Bull Knives got them set for $450, a little bit high in my opinion for OEM knife. Could be a little bit lower than that. But all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the overalls, the specs and everything. Pretty neat little knife. So from the tip of the blade into the handle, you are looking at almost 6 7/8 on your overall length, and blade length maybe right under 3 inches, and your cutting edge is I'm going to call that 2 7/8, maybe a hair under 2 7/8. Measured like this, it's right between 2 3/4 and 2 7/8. So kind of like a medium-sized knife, not really a small knife, but what I would say is more like a kind of a medium-sized knife for me anyway on this channel, right? All right, let's zero these calibers out here. Thickest part of the spine, you are looking at 120 right there, 124 thousandths. Flip it over. Let's see, behind the edge, 22 thousandths, 21 and a half thousandths behind the edge, so it gets pretty thin and slicey behind the edge. 462 thousandths on your handle thickness, so fairly proportionate all the way around. Plays into that minimalistic, if you want to call it, gentleman type of thing going on with this one. Here you got your Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco Para 3. All right, so still even the Para 3 decent, little bit longer, but the cutting edge got a little more cutting edge, it looks like, than the Para 3, right? So good blade to handle ratios on that one, I would say. And let's get out some random ones here. Now these are two that are loaned to me by Mr. Pig from Pig's Knives. Comparable, I think, size comparisons. This one a little bit larger, but not by too much, right? That is the Richard Rogers design X-Mid, and this other one is, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, the Richard Rogers Slim Utility, I think. Could be wrong on that one. I'm sure that's the X-Mid. This, I'm like 97% sure, is a Slim Utility, but I could be wrong on that one. So definitely, if you're watching, you know any better, correct my dumb ass in the comments. I have absolutely no problem with that, and I appreciate it, guys. And last but not least, got your DeWalt framing hammer. Thought I lost it for a second. 8-inch USA made crescent wrench right there. If you didn't know, now you know. All right, so let's get out the scale here, which should be a little bit closer than what it is. A little weight on this bad boy. Carbon fiber on the handle scales, sitting on a, what I believe is a titanium frame. Yep, titanium frame, milled titanium pocket clip. I was just verifying that. So I'm gonna guess, and let's check out the inside too while we're at it. See if it's milled out. No, not really any milling inside of there, but not really a large, a little bit right there, just that little square cut out. Not really a large object. I don't know, despite the lack of milling. I don't think that checking out the center right there, center is kind of right in that chokeout spot, that finger spot right there, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to guess 3.5 ounces be my guess. Let's see how far off I am. Pretty far off, almost an ounce, 2.6 ounces. So under the ounce and inch ratio that nobody really cares about too much. I mean, some people, I guess somebody somewhere lives by it, but don't really bother me too much. So definitely what I would say is an extra lightweight knife. Anything under 3 ounces to me is a super lightweight knife. Milled titanium pocket clips. It's almost totally deep carry, right? Got a little bit sticking out there, but this clip works really well. I really like the pocket clip, and also looks really nice as well, and also does its job, right? Keeps the knife in your pocket. A closer look at that titanium pocket clip with that little swoop up there. It goes in and out of the pocket pretty well, and of course that screw is countersunk inside of the base of the clip itself, so it's not doing any scratching, rubbing, anything like that. Worked out pretty good, I think. I think that pocket clip does pretty well. Not deep, or not I was about to say deep carry, not lefty friendly. I believe they are planning on doing another version of this one that is lefty friendly in the future. Just reading off of what I'm looking at on his website there. Yeah, T8 on the pivot, and the rest of the way might be T6. Yeah, T6 on the body screw. I would have to take it apart to find out on the pocket clip. Probably, if I had to guess, it would be a T6. All right, so you're dealing with black marbled carbon fiber on a titanium frame with M390 on the blade, all premium materials, very well put together, very well rounded, no sharp edges, no sharp corners anywhere, maybe right there, and that, if that could be rounded, would be good. Not extremely sharp, you know, not something that's gonna damage your hand or, you know, anything like that, but just a little bit noticeable. So as far as ergos go, or let's do action first. Now deployment, this is almost a totally hidden front flipper, right? Which that's hard to do. So I think that's pretty cool. You can index it, kind of roll it over. I can not show you guys how to do it. Maybe I'll be able to do it. Oh boy, I did it at the beginning of the video. What am I doing? There we go. All right, so one thing, whenever you index it, one thing that I ran into is that tip will, whenever your finger goes right here, if you hold it like I do, like this, to index it between your middle and your index finger, the meat of your hand, depending on how fat a hand you got. I got some, you know, I got some fat hands, but that might hang over right there. So whenever you index it, when you roll it open like that, this pointy little guy, whenever it comes out, that super pointy tip, all right, might have a tendency to catch that on its way out, right? Just got to be careful how you index it. If I can thumb opening it with the front flipper is much more reliable, but not a necessity. It's just something that if you're good at it, which I am obviously not, you can use the you can use that front flipper to open it. There we go. But also, my favorite means of deployment is the reverse flick, and it works pretty well on that. Nice little kind of a fuller cutout right there. You got his logo, Maker's Mark, right there. If you're looking at the material on this thing, besides the M390, the liners are 6A L4V titanium. Clip is of course titanium, scales and backspacer, black camo carbon fiber on that. The screws are a black PVD over stainless, so the screws are stainless. Pivot collar, titanium pivot collar, adds kind of nice little black and white, black and metallic kind of contrast going on there. And it's running on bearings, hardened stainless steel thrust washers, and has an anti-rotational pivot, so you don't have to worry about having two sets of, you know, Torx bits whenever you're taking it apart. Except what, that has a T8, right? Yeah, T8 on that pivot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice cutout for the disengagement of the lock there. No issues there. All right, got a little cutout there. Could be a little bigger, but not really any issues there on my end, I don't think. My only issue now seems to be indexing it. I guess I'm kind of gun shy whenever I do index it about it running. See, you can see right there a couple of times that I did index it does that. So I'm going to stick with the reverse flick for the sake of the video. Reverse flick works just fine, you know, and it's not the knife maker's fault that I have fat pads on my hands there. So yeah, that is something just to keep in mind. Nice little choil there. You'll definitely get a couple of sharpenings out of that for sure. And your detent on this sitting right about there, right? So after you clear that detent, shake shut, no problem, pretty smooth. You could probably, after a good little bit of use, probably get it to kind of fall shut without interfering with the side-to-side blade play, which there is none of. No side-to-side, perfectly centered, good action, premium materials. I would say overall a pretty good knife. That clip does not present a hot spot, at least to me, at all. Choke back with my pinky all the way at the end of the handle right there. Feels fairly locked in, good little grip. Choked up, kind of get right up there a little bit on that kind of pointy end of the front of the handle, and put your thumb almost all the way, and if you have bigger hands than I do, you know, almost all the way to the end right there, right? And feels fairly locked in and comfortable, no issues there. Nice finish on everything. I mean, you got vertical machine satin on the grinds, longitudinal satin on the flats, bead blasted inside the deployment slots. You can kind of see that right there. You know, the liners, the clips, glass, bead blasted. Pretty nice, man, all the way around. If this was a little bit bigger, and it's not my preferred size, it's a little bit bigger, I would definitely not mind owning this one day for sure. But a lot of people, this is their max. I mean, it just depends on how big your hands are, what your preferences are. There's people out there with huge hands that like little knives, and vice versa. So it just depends on preference and everything. I think overall, very well put together, very nice knife. Now the price, $450, and I don't know if that's just MSRP or if it's actually lower than that if you buy it from like a Knife Center or BladeHQ or something like that. But $450 seems a little steep for this. I would love to see it right around $350, you know, because it is an OEM knife, you know, Chinese made, OEM by Riot. Now Riot does provide some excellent quality, really good knives, so that's, you know, something to keep in mind, but it just seems a little bit steep to me. And that's, of course, again, a matter of opinion, just like everything you just heard, except for the measurements. So that's about it, y'all. This Bull Knives Xyro, excellent little knife. I think they're going to do another run of it, so if you're interested in that, definitely keep your eyes peeled. The website's bullknives.com. Should be linked down below whenever I do this video. Thanks again to Fred the Lug, and thanks to everyone that sends me knives so I can do some regular content for you guys. Thank you guys for watching very much, and thanks to all my subscribers, Patreon channel members. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you're not already, if you want more of it. And you guys stay sharp. Have a good rest of your day.